The key here in logic is this: thought is in motion, living, fluid, alive. The first thought category of the logic is being. All thought categories are contained in being, and they develop via the principle of all life, absolute negativity, the negation of negation, the unity of opposites. Thus, being becomes quality, quantity, measure, essence, ground, and appearance. Finally, unbeknownst to many, and as we stated yesterday, being becomes God, or kingdom come, olam haba, in the doctrine of the concept. But this is God, the absolute idea, kingdom come, or the concept, realized only in thought. Hence, we now move from thought to thought's opposite, nature. And since thought is reality, nature, matter, as its opposite, is nothing. And then, finally, to spirit, the unity of logic and nature, and to kingdom come actualized, which ironically the church and religion are unaware exists now. Just 3 more points. First, contradiction, passe today's Verstand logicians, is not unthinkable. Everything, says Hegel, has contradiction within it. Matter, life, emotions, desire. Take motion. The earth, as it moves around the sun, both is and is not in a given place at a given time. Second, Hegel's concept of appearance, the sense world, is unique and the opposite of that of Plato, Kant, the Buddhists, and the Hindus. For Hegel, the essence appears. It totally reveals itself and is not hidden in another world behind what appears. What you see is the essence. Essence and appearance are one. Third, as for the infinite or infinity, or being for self, contrary to what today's scientists believe, it can indeed be comprehended. It's not the indefinite, never-ending n+1 of the mathematicians, but is to be grasped only by the self-negation of the distinction between self and other, you and me, or finitude. To the other, it is I who am the other. Hence, I am on both sides of the wall, the limit. We are one. This is the infinite which can be comprehended. In Shakespeare's Juliet's immortal words to Romeo, quote, "My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite." Now, nature. What is nature? Nature is the concept, the idea, the truth, God, outside of itself, emptied into infinite space and time. Indeed, matter and all of nature, from diatoms to whales to planets to galaxies, is simply externalized thought or intelligence. Nature's science, the knowledge of nature, is accordingly divided into universality or mechanics, space-time matter and motion, i.e. universal matter, nature's foundation, particularity or physics, i.e. particularized or quality matter, the moment of difference, and individuality, or organics. That is, individualized matter, the return to universality, but as concrete unity, life, the subject. Just 2 points. First, Hegel's position is that nature or matter is nothing. It's ideal. Quote, nature has vanished, end quote. Hegel tells us, on the completion of its process. So, how does nature vanish or set itself aside? Simply by moving from 2 to 1. Briefly, we start with space, with every point outside of every other point. No 2 points coinciding. Then space becomes matter, the unity of space and time, where points do touch. Here we have contiguity. And then matter yields to gravity, the first subject or unity, where all bodies or objects on Earth, for example, seek the same center or point. Then to a closer unity in physics, in the meteorological process, magnetism, electricity, and chemism. And then finally to life and the animal organism, where we see the unity of concept and reality, soul and body. The outcome is that the same soul in this point or finger here is the same soul in this point or finger there. All points coincide in one point. The outer externality, parts outside parts, is overcome. The truth is that matter has no truth. Second, because the organic, life, and the inorganic are dialectically interdependent, you can't have one without the other, there must be life in the universe, as today's anthropic principle and Gaia hypothesis both contend. And the human body or form is the perfect type from which all the other organisms are to be comprehended, not conversely. And finally, spirit or intelligence. What is spirit? Spirit is the idea returning back to itself from its otherness in nature. Spirit is the negation of negation, the unity of the opposites, thought and nature. We will say more about spirit in Lecture 8. Finally, a brief word on nature's place in the whole, the process of the Absolute's becoming. This chart depicts the total context in which nature's highest form, life, the animal organism, is to be understood. Of absolute importance are the UPI, universal, particular, and individual explanatory moments of the concept, which is the veritable DNA of all the forms of nature and spirit. First, we have the highest division of the whole, aka the absolute, the idea, the universe, God. The division into logic, the universal or U, nature, the particular or P, and spirit, man actualized or God realized, the individual or I. Note, in every case, the third is the unity and truth of the first two, the individual of the universal and particular. We then have, for example, the division of nature into mechanics, U, physics, P, and organics, I. Finally, the division of organics into the geological organism, U, the plant nature, P, and the animal organism, I. And the division of the animal organism into shape, assimilation, and the genus process or sex relation. Further, each moment of the concept, UPI, makes itself into a complete syllogism, Schluss, or close in German, and is the totality, or contains the others in itself. The syllogism, the close, is the unity of opposites. Briefly, in the case of shape or structure, U, the animal organism relates to itself, or closes with itself, through regeneration or consuming itself. The concept as soul closes or unites with its object, its body. In assimilation, P, the organism relates to another, external, inorganic nature, or it closes with an other, such as nutriment, which it converts into itself, into animality, a prime example of absolute negativity. In the genus process, I, which is the unity of the first two, of self-relation in relation to other, the organism closes with itself through copulation or union with another that is itself, its own kind. The result, which is also the result of nature as a whole, is both, one, a new individual, the same as itself, and the preservation of the species, and two, the death or negation of the individual, which is at once the realization of the genus or universal as thought, and the transition to spirit or mind, the last and highest sphere of realities or God's self-actualization. Briefly, with regard to today's topic, mechanics, and its last category, the solar system, we can also see how it can be accurately comprehended by the concept's three UPI moments: the universal, the sun, the individual, the earth, and the particular, the lunar and cometary life.